sharing your knowledge with us. So, even if we perhaps don't have anything in our mind, we don't think we're going to start a business or anything, but what great knowledge. Even if it's not for yourself, it might be your kids, it might be your friend, it might be a neighbor, and you can, teach them what you've learned from Rima's valuable experience and knowledge. So Rima, I'm going to hand the floor over to you. And just a quick recap again for like housekeeping. If you have any questions, please, maybe just put in the chat and then we can take care of that near the end. I'm sure we'll have a bit of time there and we can address questions. If it's something really quick that I can see that, Rima could answer and it makes sense in that conversation, I may interrupt you, Rima, and you can answer it. Otherwise, I think if we keep it near the end, it'll be better. Sabra, do you have a question? Oh, no, you're okay. Sorry, Sabra. I'm not picking on you.
Stop doing that. It's not fair. Back
you're
off,
okay, you're
you.
Okay.
Just because
Okay,
it's not pretty.
Shanza on the call. Shanza, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so Rima, take it away. I think you have sharing ability now, do you?
No, it says that the host has disabled attendee screen sharing, so I think she has to be a co-host.
What do I do? Just say share?
Oh, you're working on it, right?
Did I just say share?
No, what you would probably say is that's your screen. So
no, Rima wants to share hers.
Yeah, so you'd have to make me a co-host.
Yeah.
This is why I was hoping that. Okay, no, cancel, get out of this.
So where it says participants, you should be able to click on my name and then assign me as a co-host.
Okay. Make host. Okay. Would that work, or co-host?
Yeah, make co-host is better so that you still have control.
It doesn't say anything. It just says make host.
Okay, then just click on that.
Okay, that's fine. The only thing is, hopefully I can let people in. We can let people in still, right? Is that working?
Usually you can, yeah. I usually get the thing on mine too, and I'm just a participant, Cobra, so it should be.
Can you see it now? Have I screwed it up?
No, Rima still has to share hers.
Okay,
and I
just see.
I stopped share. Okay, so there.
Oh, I can screen share now. That's
Yay!
Awesome. Okay, perfect.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you, Cobra, for asking me to come out and share today. And I'm excited to do it because it's a topic that I absolutely love and adore. And I think when you enjoy talking about something, it's always great. And hopefully everyone who's here today or even watching the recording after can walk away with some more information. So I just want to say, for me to speak with the CCMW Durham chapter, it's super exciting. And Kubra, I mean, thank you for doing this, because I think that this is, when I look back to my 20-year journey of being an entrepreneur, if there was something like this, a resource like this, for me in the beginning, it would have absolutely been amazing. So we're going to start off with, when you see that title, Starting a Business 101, what people think starting a business is all about is, how to structure the business, how to get financing, where to buy insurance, like how to register with the government and how to secure a location and things like that. That's all great. That's not really what we're here to talk about today. So before you can even get to the point where you do all of this, there is a place where you have to start. And that place is being able to discover the need, the why, the brand, the how, and the growth. So this is really where success starts. And one of the reasons that the conversation even took place with Kubra is that I was talking to her and I was saying how I've always had a passion with helping others in their business. And it's also a side business that I have where I consult with individuals. And I feel that there's a gap in our community. I feel that there's a gap when I see new businesses come up. And there's so much that I've learned over the last 20 years, and I hope to impart some of that knowledge with you. So before we go there, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself just so that you can get to know me better. I am a mama of 3 amazing children. I have a 16-year-old boy who is 17 next week, inshallah. I have a 10-year-old girl and a 7-year-old girl, and that is kind of my primary role, which keeps me super busy. Other than that, I am a person, a Muslim. I'm very passionate about my faith, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and I really live my lifestyle according to what I believe that our beautiful faith has to offer. And every decision that I make within my business keeps my faith in mind. I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, 21 years actually. I started way back in 1998. And at that point, I was 23 years old. I started a recruiting firm. And by the time I was 25, I was quite successful. I ran that business for 10 years, sold the business, and shortly after joined the company that I'm now with, called Arbonne. I'm a national vice president and independent consultant with that brand. I'm also a keynote speaker. I am hired by corporations, different companies, to come and do a keynote speak or train, and that's something I enjoy to do. On the side, I have a business that I've never advertised. It is word of mouth. I am an entrepreneur coach. 20 odd years ago, when I started my recruiting firm, I became successful quite soon in that business. And as that success rolled in, and as people began to hear about me, I was approached from individuals who wanted to start a business or who had started it. They weren't successful, and so I started consulting on the side, and that's something I continue to do. I'm also a blogger. I love to write. So many of you may have read some of my pieces. Very transparent. I like talking about diversity, inclusion, mental health, and just topics that are traditionally taboo within our community. I am a body positive model. I've been featured in our catalog twice. I'm also somebody who is always wanting to talk about celebrating who we are exactly as we show up in life versus the differences. And I am absolutely an impulsive traveler. Prior to COVID, we were traveling 5 to 6 times a year. It's something that I wanted to create for myself. And we have been, alhamdulillah, been able to do so. And finally, I'm my father's daughter. Everything about me was shaped with my beautiful father, who passed away over 16 years ago. But everything that I am and I do is for him. And that's just a little bit more about myself. Okay, so let's talk about the need. So why are we starting here? When we're considering a business, why are we starting with the need? Because so many times I see businesses that have started up, and the question that I ask myself is, what problem are they trying to solve? Or what is their market looking for? Many times we start businesses because of, I find that many times businesses are started with impulsive decisions, right? So for example, we see somebody who is doing really well in the catering world, and they're successful, and we're like, oh God, I cook too, let me go and cater. Or you see somebody successfully selling clothes, and you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to start catering food now, or selling clothes now, or I'm going to start up a daycare because somebody else is doing that successfully, or somebody has started a recruiting firm and they're doing well, let me do that. And I think it's great to be inspired and influenced by others, but when you are considering to launch a business, whether it's product-based or service-based, the first thing you need to ask yourself is that, what problem will your product or service solve for the market that you are looking to approach? What problem are you looking to solve? Or what is that target market worried about? What are they worried about? How is this going to help them with a worry that they have? Or what is it that your target market is looking for that you have an answer to? Do you have a solution to maybe a pain that they have or a worry that they have? And what can your service help them do that they may not know how to do, or that they may want to learn how to do? Or what problems are they struggling with? Okay, if all of that sounds a little bit confusing, and I think it might, what you want to ask yourself is that product or service, is there a need? Is there a need in the community for that product and service? Who are you? Who is your potential, customer or your client? that would benefit from the product and service, and how would that help them? How is my product or service going to help others? So how is it going to help make their life easier? How is it going to relieve a pain that they have or solve a problem that they have? And so, I always find that it's interesting because, I look at clothing, for example. Okay, so you might be specializing in ethnic clothing. What is the need of that? Is there a need for another one? And you might say to yourself, yes, there is a need for that, because I don't see enough people in my area, providing this type of clothing, and I want to do that. But you have to identify the need before you decide to go and start a business. Oftentimes what people do is they start with, okay, I'm going to start a clothing business, or I'm going to start a catering business. Let me go get my business cards. Let me go register and let me get out there, without fully analyzing what problem they are trying to solve. So I remember when I started my recruiting firm, the problem that I was trying to solve when I started that recruiting firm, I noticed, I was 23 years old when I started that business. It wasn't a plan to go into business. I was actually studying broadcasting. I had studied psychology at university. I was working for Estee Lauder on the side, earning money. My parents had lost their home to a house fire, and we needed money in the house. And so I decided to start the recruiting firm. But the question that I asked myself was, what problem am I trying to solve? There were many recruiting firms at that time. And I was a one-man shop, like trying to get into a world where there were the Adecos and Apple Ones. And I mean, if you know back to 20 years ago, there were a lot of temp agencies and recruiting firms. So what problem was my particular firm going to solve? And what I realized is that there wasn't much opportunity for new immigrants coming into Canada. New immigrants coming into Canada looking for opportunities, they were being reflected back to go get more education, go get Canadian experience, and then come back to me. So the problem that I was trying to solve was I wanted to help new immigrants earn money and gain Canadian experience. So I was helping individuals struggling with making an end meet, not being able to get a job because they don't have Canadian experience, not being able to get a job because they're new. And so what I was hoping to do with that recruiting firm, it was that I was hoping to help people who are basically unemployable. I was helping people get the Canadian experience they need so that they could move forward and find a full-time job. So what is the need for your product and service? So I felt my recruiting firm, there was a need to help new immigrants. And that was the premise that I started that firm with, okay? Now, in the business that I'm currently in, it's a vegan line of products. What was the need for me to start in a business like that? Well, I felt the need was to educate people, to educate the Muslim community, because that's why I started, about ingredients and things that they may not know. So I think the first thing you need to do when considering a business is, how is your service? Who's looking for your service? What worries do they have? For example, a tutor. Okay, today parents might be worried about the fact that kids are studying virtually from home. And as they're studying virtually from home, maybe they can't keep up. Maybe they're having a hard time staying on board. So the worry that a group of parents have, including me, is that, is my child able to keep up? That's the worry. So the solution to that might be extra tutoring. We have a sister in CCMW Durham whose son is now tutoring, right? So the worry is that the kids are not able to cope, and the solution could be a tutor. Right? So you need to know what the worry is, what the pain is, what the problem is, and how your product or service will solve that problem. That is the very first place that you want to start. Okay? So the next place is the why. This part is probably the most important component to starting your business and building a successful business. And it is the most overlooked one that I see within our community. I think at large, people miss the mark with the why, but I think within our community, very rarely do I see that connection to the why. So why is the why important? And what do I mean? You guys have all heard this saying that facts tell and stories sell. Is that just a clever statement? Facts tell and stories sell? What if I were to tell you that is actually biology? It's how we work. It's how our brains are wired. So facts tell and stories sell. Why do stories sell? So there's an amazing author who I absolutely love, who has absolutely shaped the way that I have built my businesses. And his name is Simon Sinek. If you've never heard of him, write it down. Buy his book. He has several books, but one of the books that influenced me the most was called Start With Why. So Start With Why by Simon Sinek was one of the most influential books of all time for me in business. And until I read his book, the way that I was running my businesses it was very different. I would come and I would talk to people about my recruiting firm. I have people, if you're looking for people, do you know anybody who's hiring? I've got people that can be hired, going to clients, and going to candidates. We have jobs. If you need a job, I have it. With my Arbonne business, we have products. Do you need skincare? Are you looking to get healthy? We have nutrition. So it was all about facts. We're vegan, we're this, we're that. The thing is that when you start with the how or the what, the brain, when you are talking to people and you're leading with, I have a catering business, I can sell you shami kebabs. Or I have a clothing business, I have some clothes for $250. They're, these amazing kurta tops. When you start with the how or the what, when you start with facts and information, the part of the brain that receives facts and information is the neocortex part of the brain. The neocortex part of the brain is incapable of making decisions. The neocortex part of the brain receives facts and information, but cannot make quality decisions. So if any of you have a business and started promoting your business and felt that, wow, I'm telling people what I have, but no one's buying from me, or no one is coming back and, responding to the service that I'm offering, chances are is because the part of the brain that you've connected with is the part of the brain that's not capable of making a decision. The part of the brain that decides is the limbic part of the brain. And the limbic part of the brain is responsible for gut feelings and emotions. So the part of the brain that says, yes, I want to buy, or yes, I'm interested, is the limbic part of the brain. And that part of the brain that can make decisions is responsible for gut feelings and emotions. Have you ever made a purchase where you were like, okay, I don't really need this, but oh my God, like I love what she's saying or he's saying, or I love how I'm feeling hearing this, I gotta get it. I've got to get it. Wow, like my hair is like all, it's frizzy and that's going to make my hair better. I've got to get that straightener. Or, you know what, I need to get that dust buster because it's going to make my life easier. Decisions are typically made from the limbic part of the brain. Yet most businesses make the biggest mistake of coming out with what they do and how they do it versus why they do it. People are more interested in why you do what you do rather than how you do it, what you do, what you have. They're more interested in the why. And so when I read this from Simon Sinek, he gave a very good example. And the example that he gave in his book was Dell computers and Apple computers. If I were to ask you guys, which one is the better operating system? Is it Dell or is it Apple? Now, most of us, including myself, would say Apple. We would say that Apple is the better operating system. But the fact is Dell is actually the better operating system. But the reason why we think it's Apple is because Dell in the marketplace sells you a computer, whereas Apple sells you a lifestyle. If you see any ad from Apple, it's a story. It's a connection. It's a lifestyle. Same with Aritzia and Lululemon. Quality of their yoga pants from Aritzia or Lululemon, similar. But Lululemon sells you a lifestyle versus Aritzia that's just selling you clothes. So the why is extremely important when you start your business, or even when you're beginning to talk about it. It's very important for you to discover your why. Oprah is a multi-billionaire today. And if I were to ask you, why is she a billionaire? What about her makes her so successful? Why is she a billionaire today? Okay. Does she have some amazing magical quality that the rest of us don't? Is there something super special about her that the rest of us don't have? What is it? What is that one quality about her that made her so successful? So the thing with Oprah, if you think about the Oprah Winfrey show, I mean, oh my God, I remember the 90s, running home from high school, waiting for 4 o'clock, because that's when Oprah would come on, just waiting to watch her show. Everybody would be watching Oprah and discussing it the next day. What did Oprah do? All the way to becoming a multi-billionaire, she shared other people's stories. We logged in day after day, glued to the screen, because she was talking and sharing. She was sharing other people's stories. People want to know the why behind your brand. So many times in our Muslim mom groups, I see people posting ads and posting, what they have and what they do, but not the why behind it. Discovering your why, that's an entire workshop that I offer people at times. But I mean, for you to get, there are so many resources that are available and free. Like you can go to YouTube and type in TED Talks and type in Simon Sinek's and start with why, or discover your why, and you'll get a whole bunch of things. But starting with why is the biology. So you always want to start with why you do what you do. So for example, let's take a clothing brand. We have someone who's selling a clothing brand, and please use the chat box, okay? So what would appeal to you most? If I was selling clothing to you and I came up to you and I would say, hey, I have these amazing, Pakistani Indian suits. They're great quality. It's $250 you pick up at my house. I have a whole bunch of clothes available for Eid. Okay? And I put pictures of my clothes and I post it there and I have clothes available. Okay? Would that appeal to you more? Or would it appeal to you more if I started with saying, you know what? Introducing myself and saying, I always struggled with finding stylish and fashionable clothes from within my cultural, outfits. I've always wanted to purchase clothing that's timeless, yet on a budget. I decided to get into the clothing business as I was unable to find fashion that was affordable, and at the same time, I was unable to find clothes that were fashionable yet affordable. I decided to work from home because I want to be present for my family. And at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm dressed well and I can help others dress well on a budget. Would that appeal to you more? To give that business owner a look and check out her clothes? Or would it appeal more to you if she simply posted her clothing and put up the price and a photograph and said you can have a porch pickup? What would appeal to you more? I believe the story would appeal to you more. The story would appeal to you more because, why? Because that's the part of the brain that makes decisions, connecting with the limbic part of the brain. Okay? What would make more sense to you if I came up to you and you were a business owner and I said, hey, I have people. I provide people with jobs, hire my people. Or if I came up to you, a business owner, and I said, you know what? One of the things that my recruiting firms does, I saw that there was a need in the marketplace for people, and there was a surplus of new immigrants coming in. And so what I do is I bring those immigrants in, and I'll give them the basic training necessary in order for them to be able to perform at your job. What we like to do is we like to give people an opportunity to grow. And what our firm does is our firm specializes in giving them the health and hygiene workshop, getting them ready for the job so that they can do a job well for you. These are people motivated and wanting to make a difference. Are they going to be more interested in that story of mine, or the fact that, hey, I have people, here's my business card, you know, if you need people, let me know? If I simply hand my business card and ask them to let me know, it's not going to work. They're not going to call me. They may call me if they have a need, but you know what? If I share the story of why I'm doing what I'm doing, who I'm trying to help, that is going to be more impactful. So the why is often divided in two. There's a personal why that everyone has when starting a business or service, a personal why that they're looking to fulfill. There's often a purpose-driven why, and you need to know both. And sometimes the purpose-driven why comes later. The personal why can change. Like when I started my recruiting business, the why was to buy my parents a home. They had lost their home to a fire. There was no older son. In my community, it's in our community, it's often, you know, the son that helps out, and there wasn't an older son. I was the older daughter. So I decided I wanted to buy them a home. So starting that business, my personal why, my personal motivation was I wanted to get my parents a home. My purpose-driven why was helping new immigrants that were struggling. And our firm back then in 1998 to 2000, when we were featured in Maclean's, in those first 18 months, we became the recruiting firm for the Tibetan community. I was able to find jobs for over 350 new Tibetan immigrants. So Tibetan immigrants were coming in and unable, they were on welfare. They were coming on and going right on welfare because nobody was giving them a chance. But one of the things about the Tibetan community, they spoke Hindi. So I was able to speak to them, communicate with them, onboard them, give them the basic skills necessary to a basic job, and then from there grow. And even though it's been 20 years, one of those young gentlemen that I helped who came in as a teenager and is at 18, 19, and I was able to help him find a job. Today, he's a distribution manager for one of the companies that he started with. My purpose-driven why with my recruiting firm was to help immigrants gain Canadian experience and find full-time opportunities. That was my purpose-driven why. My personal why was to help my family buy a home. And I was able to do that. In 2000, when the article came out, I think it was a year and a half after that I was able to buy my parents a home. And I was, 26 at that time when I bought them a home. And it was an incredible feeling. What is your personal purpose? What is your purpose-driven why? Why are you doing what you do? And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but it is so important. It is so important for you to be connected with that. When I started Arbonne, oh my God, my family, you went from a recruiting firm for this, what are you doing? But my personal why, I had owned my recruiting firm for 10 years. I had 2 locations in Canada, one in Dubai. I was flying to Dubai, taking a business class flight, sleeping on the flight, waking up when I arrived in Dubai, going for 12-hour meetings, a 12-hour day of meetings, hopping back on the plane, sleeping on it, coming back to my son. I was tired of being that mom who wasn't fully present. So when Arbonne came my way, I decided I want to be a present mom. My personal why was to be the mom that was physically and mentally present. That was what I wanted to do. The purpose-driven why was to educate the Muslim community about ingredients and what's halal and what's permissible and helping women becoming financially independent. That is my why, and that drives me. Your why should make you cry. Your why should be so meaningful, it should make you cry. Does your why make you cry? Does your purpose-driven why make you cry? And it's not about being emotional, but it means having a passion and a purpose towards what you're doing. And this is the most important ingredient that is often missing when I see businesses. Yes, you might be in it to make money. Everyone wants to make money. But money will come if you help others solve a problem that they have, if you help others achieve what they're looking for, if you help others find something that they're looking for, when you help others, the laws of the universe is that it's going to come back to you. Okay? So that is a little bit more about the why. So Simon Sinek, you were asking the spelling. The last name is S-I-N-E-K. So Simon, S-I-M-O-N-S-I-N-E-K. Okay, so let's talk about the brand. The brand is not the label that is on the clothing. The brand is not what you choose to name your catering business or your daycare or your accounting firm. The brand, more than ever, the brand is you. You are the brand of your business or service. Did you know that people surveyed, 90% of people surveyed, and I think it was by Statistica, but 90% of people surveyed recently purchase products or services based on the recommendation of others. Okay, so I want you to think about that for a minute. When was the last time that you purchased a product or service? When was the last time that you purchased your cell phone? Did you just go into a store and purchase it? Or was that phone recommended to you by someone? Did you go and ask your family and friends what they're using and how they like their phone? Chances are you spoke to somebody. Think about the last movie you watched. Did you watch it just because, or did you watch it because somebody else watched it and said it was a great movie? The last restaurant you ate at when we were eating at restaurants. I know this is taking us back a year. Oftentimes we are recommended to things, right? So the thing is that social selling is growing. Whether you're providing a service or a product, so the service could be you could be a tutor, you could be a daycare provider, you could be a teacher, you could be an accountant, you could be an investment banker, you could be a recruiter. It doesn't matter. Whether it's a product or service, you are basically selling a service or a product. We're all involved in sales, whether you like it or not. When you have your own business, we're all involved in sales. The brand is you, though. People want to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. And that's a fact. People want to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. Do people know you? And if they know you, do they like you? Do they trust you? When you start off with a business and you have a Facebook page, and from your Facebook page, you see Rima Rafe posting her product and service, but Rima Rafe doesn't have a profile picture. She has a dua in the profile picture, or she has a picture of a background or scenery. Are people going to trust me when they see that Rima Rafe is posting a service or a product for sale, yet they can't see who I am? You are the brand. If people choose to buy clothes from you, skincare from you, take your services for tutoring or accounting, they're buying into you. You are the brand. It is so important for you to invest into yourself, for you to pour into yourself, for you to be authentic. You can't hide behind the products and services that you're offering. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't build trust. So you want to be out there. You don't have to be out there. Not everybody is a social media queen. Not everyone can go and do live videos and things like that, but you've got to have a professional photo on your Facebook profile or your Instagram profile or like LinkedIn. You have to be you. You have to be authentic about that, right? You have to come out as you are. People don't want copycats. People want to see who you are. There's so many times that I'm invited to speak on self-love and self-growth and really self-confidence and things like that, because I've gone on my own journey of self-loathing, you know, shame and blame and all that stuff where, you know, the voice between the two ears is the worst, right? We are often our worst enemy. And it's taken me a long journey to really come to a point where I absolutely love who I am as I show up in life. And you want to know, you need to know that there is place for each and every one of you in this world. It doesn't matter if they're 10 catering companies or 10 clothing brands or 11 accountants or 100 Arbonne reps. It doesn't matter. There's room for everyone in this world because someone out there is looking for someone just like you to connect with. People like to do business with people that they like, know, and trust. So you need to be known, you need to be known. So regardless of what product or service you are, it's not about your logo and your business card. It's not about how splashy and professional your website looks or your store looks. It isn't about all that. It's about you. It's about, can people trust you? Can people connect to you? And being your authentic self is the most important thing. It's the most important thing to do. Okay, that's the most important thing to do. So I think it's extremely important for you to be able to be your authentic self. Second, the third thing is to attach yourself to a cause. Today, especially the Gen Zs, and the Gen Zs are growing, the millennials are growing, right? The baby boomer generation is still in the workforce, but they're on their way out. Gen X's are my age range. I'm 45 and that's my group. But we have the millennials, we have the Gen Ys and the Gen Zs that are coming. They are all about attaching themselves to a company with a purpose. If you want to be future forward, if you want to grow, you need to attach yourself to a cause. So what if I came out with a clothing company and I said, you know what? I'm a mom who wanted to be present at home. I was looking for fashionable, timeless pieces. I didn't find that in the marketplace, so I decided to use our family tailor back in Pakistan to make the clothing. They're all really reasonably priced. And what's wonderful, for every outfit that you purchase, $5 of that goes towards putting our tailor's children through school. Or what if everything you purchase, I donate one pair of socks to the homeless. Today, people want to know that you are attached to a cause. It's not just about making profits. People want to know that you're invested in people, that you care about people, and you care about the planet. That's what the next generation cares about. Does your brand embody that? Does your business embody that? Are you attached to a cause? And you know what? The idea in life really is we want to be, people by nature are helpful people. People by nature want to help others. Inherently, I feel we all want to help others. And so how is your business or service helping others? How are you showing up? Who are you? If I were to go to your Facebook pages now, for those of you that are in business or have a business, would I be able to go to Miriam's page if she has a business, or Sabra's or Shanza's, would I be able to go and figure out who you are? You could come to my Instagram, you can come to my Facebook page, and I'm telling you, within a few posts, you'll be able to figure out what I'm all about. I'm all about body positivity. I'm all about diversity and inclusion. I'm all about being proud of who you are as you are. You will see that in my posts. I'm all about love and life and spreading positivity. That's what I'm all about. And you will get that from my IG and my Facebook. You will get to know who I am. And for many of you, if you're on my Facebook and Instagram, you probably already feel like you know me. And you're probably not wrong, because I put myself out there, because I am now living in a virtual world. And how are people going to know me, or even like me, or even trust me when I come to them and I say, I can help you with a problem you have. My products can help you look and feel better. My business can help you gain financial independence, whether you're looking to earn more or earn less or more. Like, you can trust me. If I were to go to your page, would I be able to understand who you are? And the reality is, in today's day, that's where trust is built. It's built on social media. Okay, so let's talk about the how. This is where the structure comes in and registering your business comes in. Once you've gone through the needs assessment, you've gone through discovering your why, you've gone through establishing the brand, which is you, then it comes to the structure. Are you looking to open up a traditional business, a brick and mortar business with a physical location and staff? Are you looking to franchise yourself out? Or are you looking to simply follow, like a business that already exists, like a Popeyes or a Tim Hortons, or like, are you looking to tutor doctor? Are you looking to go for a franchise business? And what's the difference? The difference between a traditional business and a franchise business. In a traditional business, you're basically doing everything from scratch, from sourcing out the location to registering your business to like getting the financing and all of that, and getting your employees and getting your products and services. A franchise, a lot of that is already done for you, right? So you have to qualify for it. You've got to invest the time and learning in it. You do have to go and promote it and everything, but you've got this head office group. You've got the franchisor that has the infrastructure in place, all of the sourcing and finding out, the different things that's already done for you. So are you looking to start a traditional business, a franchise? Are you looking to start an e-commerce business? E-commerce has doubled in the last year, according to Forbes. So are you looking to start an online store, or are you looking to get into network marketing and direct sales, where everything is done for you, one step further than a franchise, and basically you're the word of mouth. So you're like the ambassador of the company. So those are the four options that you have when you're looking to build a business: traditional, franchise, now e-commerce, or network marketing, direct sales. So once you figured out what business you want to, what model you want to start with, then you're going to go and register. Whether it's registering with the government, or financially opening up whatever you need to with your accountant, sourcing financing, whatever you need to do, that comes next. But these two steps are not the first things that you do. These things come after you've done all the preliminary work. And then the social media aspect of it. Do you have an IG profile? Do you have a Facebook profile? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on Twitter? Our younger crowd, TikTok. I mean, are you utilizing social media to grow? And then the how. So nowadays, today, it is, what we see happening, what we see is very successful. We know that brick and mortar traditional businesses, people are staying away from that. But if it's a work from home business, if it's a business that you can do comfortably from your own home, absolutely, you can still go the traditional route. If you are looking for a franchise, that is great too, but it requires a lot of money. Okay, a lot of money to get a franchise going, right? An e-commerce business, there are affordable ways to do that. Yes, you can start everything, but there are many websites that can help you get your presence out there. Wix, Milkshake, these are two different sites that offer you website building applications for free. You can start inexpensively. The biggest mistake a lot of business owners do is that they invest a ton in inventory, a ton in website and printers and computers, and they spend money on all this stuff that they really don't need to do. To start your business, spend less. Spend less, start small, grow from there, especially now in an economy that's unknown. The future is unknown. We've never lived through these times before, right? And then with network marketing and direct sales, it's about finding somebody who's successful in that business, who's successfully built, and connecting with them and seeing if it's a fit for you. Because there are hundreds of direct sales business out there, and you can go to the Direct Selling Association and see what is going to fit for you. So now that you've figured out the structure, you're registering. Canada.ca is a great website to go through. Canada.ca will tell you exactly how to start a business and what you need to do. So step by step, that is available for you. It's a government website. That is where I recommend people to go if they haven't done all of that due diligence. Social media, you can't escape that. Today, there's no way for you to build your brand or business without social media. You need to make sure that you are on there and you are presented well, okay? And again, there's many trainings, there's many sources that you can go to find out how to set yourself up correctly. Referrals, the referral business, recommendation selling, It is huge. Like I said, 90% of people purchase products or services based on a recommendation. When you have a product or service that you are promoting or selling, are you always asking the client you just serviced or you just sold to, are you asking them for referrals? Referral business is huge. Word of mouth business is huge. Always ask for a referral. So the referrals are actually, just to let you know, we have in my current business, we do around $250,000 a month in sales, okay? And $250,000 a month in sales, I like to track everything. 35% of our business comes from referrals. 35% of that $250,000 per month comes from referrals, okay? Oftentimes we hesitate asking people after we're so happy that they bought our service or product that we're just, okay, who else do you know that could use my accounting service? Who else do you know that could benefit from a hijab? Who else do you know that would love, you know, a wonderful platter of halim? Who else do you know that you might refer me to, right? And you can ask for a referral and give them a discount next time, you know, or reward them for that referral. You can run giveaways and contests within that person's network. There's so many things you can do. The how is not difficult with virtual social media. Any business you have, it should be easier to run now with all the things that we can do. So the growth, you want to become an expert in what you do. If you're selling clothes, you need to know clothes. You need to know what's out there. You need to know the brands that are available and how yours compare. We never talk down about any other product or business or service. You never say that I am better because so-and-so. Oh, I'm better than that person because so-and-so. You never do that. You learn about what's out there. And if you know that your product is better, you talk about your strengths. You don't amplify other weaknesses because that just makes you look bad. Right? It's positivity and growth. And like I said, that in my opinion, no matter how many people are out there doing the same thing you're doing, there is enough business in this world for everyone. There is a place for everyone. There is opportunity for everyone. There is a market for everyone. So the question is, do you know? If you were to ask me right now about recruiting, I'm a little bit outdated because it's been around 10.5 years, but I still know a lot about how to get a recruiting business started, how to source people, how to find people, how to test them, how to qualify them, how to prospect new companies. Because I invested all my time in the first 18 months of building that business on my way to the top, on the way to getting recognized to McLean's. I never knew that was happening. I was becoming an expert in that. Today, I know not only Arbonne inside out, I know my products, I know ingredient policies, I know about the precautionary and reactionary principle when it comes to formulating products. I am forever a student of the universe. Never believe that you have become an expert because there's always knowledge to gain. But your goal should strive to become an expert in what you do. What does that do? That builds trust. So that's something that you want to do. You don't want to, you compare to someone, but you want to know so much about what you do and the value that you offer that when someone asks you a question, well, how does this compare to that, Rima? How does this and that? Well, I can't tell you about the other brand because I don't represent it, but I can tell you what makes ours special. I can tell you why my services as a tutor is different. I'm going to spend one-on-one time with your child. I'm not going to get angry. I'm going to be here one-on-one. I don't have 3 other kids that I'm teaching at the same time. I'm giving your child individualized attention. My food, I'm using organic certified ingredients. I even present my clients with the bill to show them where I shop. I'm making sure that I'm using wholesome ingredients. I can tell you what my strengths are. Always talk about your positives and your strengths rather than amplifying or focusing on what others don't have or what their weaknesses are. Okay? That's where growth comes from in your business. Growth comes from you becoming the expert in your field. How many times have you gone to someone and said, oh, no, you know what? I'm going to go to her for my hair because she knows hair. She knows hair. She knows what to use. She knows the products. She knows what's in it. I'm sticking with my hairstylist. So now with many of our businesses, we think acquiring the client, acquisition of the client means I've got to discount myself to death in order to get that client on. Well, you can discount your product to death and that person might buy from you, but that doesn't mean you've got the loyalty of the client. Loyalty of the client comes from people don't care, right? People don't care how much you know. People care about how much you care for others. So it's not about going after people and giving them the biggest discount and thinking you have a client for life. You can actually charge a little bit more, but show them that you know X, Y, and Z, you care about them, you show them how this is going to help solve a problem or something that they have, and that's going to help you grow. Organization. I know that it shows an org chart here, but organization means organizing yourself. Are you organized? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you stay committed when you've said you're going to do something? Are you consistent? There are so many tools out there, so many free apps that can keep you organized in your business, that can keep you, not only organized, but looking professional. There are so many different apps I use on a daily basis for scheduling appointments, okay? To different apps to post, to doing my social media posts, another app for that. There are different apps I have for tracking my finances. An organized business, a structured business, an organized mind says yes. A confused mind says no. So you're easier to walk yourself and talk yourself out of your business, not because you failed in sales and that, but you failed in organizing yourself. So become the best you can with knowledge, organize yourself, and mindset. Mindset matters. Mindset is the biggest thing when it comes to growth. Whether you think you can or can't, you're right. If you think you can't succeed, that there's too much competition, that there's nothing special about you, that you're not worthy of success, you're right. If you think that you're worthy of success, that there's a place for your products, that people are attracted to you, that abundance is coming your way, you're right, right? So the mindset matters. And mindset is not just about how you speak to yourself, it's how you speak to others. It's how you present yourself. I remember when I started the recruiting firm, I had so many clients. I would go door to door, attracting big corporations, big companies. And I would stand there asking them for an opportunity to speak up to their HR professional or the person who makes hiring decisions. And the way that the receptionist would talk to me, the first time that I was just spoken to so rudely, I left crying. And I remember then I had an incredible mentor, and he came to me and he said, she's not saying no to you, Rima. She's saying either no to the service or the product or the business, whatever you're selling, because she doesn't see the value in it. So she's saying no because she doesn't see the value in it, or she's saying no because it's just not a need. It's not you. Don't take it personal. How many times do I see, and I've people have tried to engage me into arguments and fights and into this and that about products and services and business. It's not personal, it's business. Don't take it personal. So the mindset that you want to adopt is a mindset of abundance, a mindset of positivity, a mindset of growth, a mindset of kindness. If you've ever heard, I grew up I remember in Estee Lauder and even in McDonald's. One of my first jobs was in McDonald's when I was 16. And I remember them saying that the customer is always right. It doesn't mean that the customer is always right. And oftentimes the customer isn't right. It's about adopting a service-based attitude, a servant heart, a willingness to help, a willingness to say, okay, you have an issue. I'm going to help you so that you don't feel the way that you do. So a mindset of growth is not going out there with a chip on your shoulder, going out there with kindness, And if your product or the service you're offering is rejected, it's not you. They don't know you necessarily. They're not rejecting you. They're saying that I don't see the value in what you're providing, and I'm not willing to part with my money to buy your product and service because you haven't made that connection for me. So maybe there's an opportunity for you to revisit and show them that connection. Or maybe there's an opportunity for you to say, you know what, it's not for her. Maybe not now, maybe later. I was taught very early on, some will, some won't. So what, who's next? And it's not about discarding that person, but it's like some will see the value in what you have. Some won't. So what? It doesn't make or break your business. One person, two people, three people saying no. It doesn't make or break you. Who's next? Keep growing. Keep moving forward. Right? So that's the next thing. Okay. Finally, one of my favorite books of all time is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And he says in one part of the book, when you find your path, you must not be afraid. You need to have sufficient courage to make mistakes. Sufficient courage to make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes in our businesses. We're all going to say things and do things that we shouldn't have. Disappointment, defeat, and despair are the tools God uses to show us the way. Before my recruiting firm became a success, what seemed like an overnight success in Maclean's magazine when they came out with the article saying that I was able to build a firm from scratch in 18 months, bringing in 7 figures in revenue, before that happened, I went door to door. I didn't drive at that time. I was 23. I didn't have a license. I went door to door to 100 companies. Every single company saying no. Every single company saying no. How many people would have given up at the first 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 50? I kept going because my why, my personal why, was to buy my parents a home. And who became my first major client? Byway. How many of you remember Byway? I won that contract. I earned that contract over Apple One, over Adecco, over Manpower. Rima Rafe's Little Innovative Staffing Solutions got a $1 million contract for 100 people by going door to door. To get that one win, I had 100 people say no to me. I had men laugh in my face saying, hey, little girl, this isn't a place for you. You know, you need to go and do girly things. It was a man's world back then, 21 years ago. Okay. My business with Arbonne, I had a vision to grow it within our Muslim community and bring people to the top. You know how many times I've been rejected in Arbonne when sharing the business with people? I have been rejected 1,300 times, 1,300 no's. It took 1,300 no's for me to promote to the very top level and bring 6 other Muslim sisters with me. How many people would have given up at the first no, or the second no, or the third no? But you know what? My personal why was to be at home as a mom and be financially independent, because I have a husband who is a professional foot doctor, but my husband has a diabetic condition that God, you know, forbid, could be something that would either prevent him from working down the road, or, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. I needed to be financially independent. That was my why. But my purpose-driven why was to build a Muslim community. Today, in my business, where 1,300 people said no to me, we have 1,600 team members and clients from within the Muslim community. Disappointment, defeat, despair, I know that so well. I know that more than I know success. But I do believe that they're the tools that Allah gives us to show us the way. It's not to break us down. It's not to destroy us. It's to lift us up and make us stronger. You are exactly what you believe yourself to be. Exactly what you believe yourself to be. So guys, that is the formal part of my presentation. If you want to connect with me, IG, you can follow me at Rima Rafe. Or Facebook, you can follow me. I already have 5,000 friends, so I can't accept any new friends, but you're absolutely welcome to follow me, or you can connect with me at rafenation@gmail.com. So I'm just gonna stop the share. If we have time, I'm happy to take any questions.
Rima, thank you so much. That was really, really informative. For me, I personally really enjoyed it because I just got to see another amazing side of you, your knowledge, your guidance, your kindness again for sharing all this with us. And I deeply appreciate it. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask of Rima?
It's often hard to ask questions, I know, but
Yeah.
sometimes.
I have a question. First of all, I want to, Assalamu alaikum,
Walaikum
Rima
salam.
and Mariam and everyone that is here. This is Shanza. And first of all, I want to thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and insight with your journey. And I wanted to ask you, how you said, the most important thing is the why. And because you are the why. What do you, I know you mentioned like, having that purpose-driven why, and that is the passion that makes you cry. That really resonates with me. And I just wanted to find out from, I know you said that, like you had that drive, that purpose that you wanted to get your parents the home. And, because of what had happened. But in regards to that, like when you're really trying to discover the why, can you elaborate more like in regards to what, like being authentic? And I know you mentioned about, like in today's world, like, everything, especially in the business world, it's like, being so professional. But I think like we really lose that humanistic perspective, that who we are, the authentic self. And I think we really need to kind of be coming to that basic, and yes, I think that comes with the environment. And just like how you said that the purpose, like everybody now is recognizing that, more, I really hope it is, that, how important it is, like, being grateful for where we are on this planet and where we stand in the whole universe and beyond. What a real true purpose as Muslimah and, is to submit to Allah, right? Like, and really be connected in all inclusiveness with everything. So I think in speaking from that perspective, I just wanted to really see, which is a very holistic perspective. I find it very challenging, I think, with that why, that when you really want to be authentic, yourself, but you always have these pressures, because we have the corporate and very colonial kind of mindset that is so mainstream. And even within the Muslim community too, there's always, certain culture expectations, even just like what you said, like, and I really think that we really need to change the mindset and the whole culture and the whole ways that how we are, even within the business world too, just like how you said that, like, you little girl, this is not a place. I've heard that many times. I still to this day, whatever you do, there's always some kind of barrier. And I want to, eliminate all these barriers that people kind of, put it in front of people. But that's a whole different journey. But how do you really create that, given all these things I mentioned, that, like to be your authentic self and say, what, I'm showing up as how Allah created me, and this is who I am, and we're always enhancing, trying to be our higher self. And this is my journey. This is my story, and that's the why. That's why I'm doing this. That's what drives me for what I'm doing, this business or this service that I want to provide, because I'm really committed, and I'm really driven. What do you say to that? Because you've been doing this.
So the thing is that, what I find is that, like, we're all looking, especially now in this world, we're looking for connection, and it's not easy, the time that we're going through. And there was a time that we could go out and meet for a cup of coffee and feel connected and feel heard and feel like we were seen and understood. And today we're sitting here in our rooms, and trying to connect virtually. And that connection feeling, I think a lot of people are feeling lost. I feel now the way the world is, it would be more receptive than before. And you're right, in our community, when I started talking about my why, people thought I was nuts. Like, I know that behind the scenes. Why is she sharing her story? Why is she? But you see, but the thing is that change comes when you have the courage to make the first step and start changing things, right? Like, someone's got to be the first. Someone's got to take that initiative. And I think that in our community, I think it would be welcomed. I think people are tired of that putting on a front and not being vulnerable and sort of being professional all the time. When I was recruiting, it was with, towards the tail end of my business, it was with Fortune 100 and 500 companies in the banking sector. And so I went from temp and entry level to executive search. And there is a facade that everyone plays. There's a role that we play, and it's almost a dehumanized environment. And that's the corporate world, and how that will change. There are some workplaces that have changed. Like, I know Google has tried to change that whole environment internally. I know that Apple has tried to change it as a company. Tesla, these are some companies that not only have produced incredible products, but even within the corporate structure, they've made that change to allow people to be who they are and to thrive. I think as a small business owner, when you're starting out, you have full freedom to come and show up as who you are. And so how do you discover your why? There are different steps that do that. We have a series of questions that you would answer to discover your why. So it's almost like literally taking a blank piece of paper and writing the 21 reasons why you're doing the business. This is the quickest way for you to figure out what your why in your business is. Literally taking the piece of paper down, 21 reasons why I'm doing this. It should be pouring out of your tongue if you're doing this for a purpose, whether that purpose, like I often tell people when people ask me about Arbonne, oh, you're selling product. And I honestly believe I'm serving Allah. I honestly believe that my business, what I do, making people feel good, helping people become healthier, helping people bring extra earnings into the home, it's serving God. I really believe that. And you need to know what you're doing is serving the Creator, because we're all here. We're all servants. No one's bigger than someone else or lower. It doesn't matter what your title is or how much you earn. We are all children of God, and we all serve the Creator. So having that in mind, the quickest way is to write down 21 reasons why you're doing it. And from that, it's such a eye-opening activity to do, because it will help you understand your purpose. A why could be, for me, it was to buy my parents' house. I have people on my team, their why is just wanting to feel worthy, a feeling of worthiness. The reason why they get up and do what they do is because they want to feel worthy. I have another person on my team who wants to be respected. She wants her daughters to grow up seeing mom as someone who added value into the home other than being mom. So the why can be as big or small as you want, the personal why, but it has to be to drive you. So how do you go and be your authentic self? You just do. You just make a decision that the next time you're going to show up in your business, you're going to share a little bit more of you. A little bit more. Prior to Simon Sinek, prior to understanding the connection of the brain, prior to understanding how people make decisions, I used to show up with a very robotic presentation of myself and of my business. We're a vegan certified line. All of our products are halal. They have no harsh chemicals, blah, blah, blah. When I would present myself, my name is Rima Rafe. When I was 23, I started a recruiting firm. I became McLean's top 100 and I blah, blah, blah. And you know what? No one was connecting to me. And then one day I decided, I felt that there was a disconnect between my team. And so one day I got up and I said, guys, I want to tell you a little bit more about me and why I'm so passionate to help others. When I was in grade 8, I was beat up in high school for being different. I was beat up because I was a Muslim. At that time, skinheads were on the rise, racism was on the rise, and I was beat up by a group of skinheads. My parents left down to Toronto. They moved to Ajax. They moved to Ajax to give me a better life because I was given a death threat. And being beat up like that, being pointed out for being different, it hurt me so much that I decided no matter what I do in life, I'm going to help those in need. So one of the reasons that I do what I do is because I want to help others. I want to make sure that there's no one out there that's been hurt or neglected or isolated because of who they are. And the minute that I came out and I spoke like that, my team just got up and said, oh my God, all this time we thought you were some perfect person who ran this perfect recruiting firm and you were so successful and now you're successful in Arbonne. You're real. And I thought that sharing who I was would turn people off because it would expose my weaknesses, my vulnerabilities. And what it did, it actually made people respect me more because they could connect with me because I was being human and real, and everybody wants and craves that real human connection. People don't crave perfection. People go after progress. People want to see progress. They don't want to see perfection because perfection doesn't exist. So I don't know if that helps you, Chantal, but it's just a decision to decide to be and to discover that why. There's many steps to go and do that. I even have like a questionnaire and it's geared more towards my current business, but you could apply it to any business and it would help you discover your why. And I'm happy to share that as a resource. I can share it with Kubra and she can forward it to you guys.
That's wonderful, Rima, and thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Your story about that too. And yeah, I would love to actually connect with you as well. And yeah, I think that's wonderful. I already know what my whys are for what I do and what I want to do, and Kubra knows that too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, Shanta's the CCMW president for Niagara Falls. So
okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, and she's a lot of energy, so you might get overwhelmed by her.
Amazing, amazing. Right. No, absolutely. Would love to connect with you. And that document, Kubra, I'll forward it to you, and you can share it with others as well. It's just a questionnaire that will help you get the thinking process going of connecting with that. Right? Being your authentic self, it's not difficult because we are ourselves in home. It's just being comfortable enough. One of the things that I strive for is that, when I go out and I speak, I was the keynote of Canada this year, and I did another training for 40,000, and everyone at the end of those speaking engagements, people came, and I must have gotten over 1,000 messages on Instagram and just accolades of, oh my God, you were so amazing, you were this, you were that. And I came home that night and I looked at my husband and I said, look at all these accolades. I said, am I showing up as I am outside? Am I showing up in my house the same way? Would my kids give me that accolades? Would you give me those accolades? Being my authentic self means that the way I show up in my home, I need to show up out my home. And so from that point onwards, it's been a 6-month journey of trying to make sure that I'm showing up in the best possible way. I mean, you have ups and downs, you have bad days, but showing up in the best possible way inside as I am out. I want people who meet me online to be able to meet me in person and say, oh my God, you're exactly like you are online. There's no difference. You are who you are. It's not one show here and one show there. That's being authentic. If I can show up as who I am here, as I show up individually, then that's truly being your authentic self, and that's being comfortable with you. And that's really, it's about pouring love into yourself. Do you love yourself enough? We're not taught that in our culture about loving yourself. Loving yourself is the most important ingredient. Giving of yourself, serving others doesn't come first. Serving yourself comes first. When you can love yourself, you can love Allah, you can love your family, you can love everybody else, but God wants you, Allah wants you to love yourself. He created you. God didn't create us to hate ourselves. If it was created by Allah, then it's a beautiful thing. We are all beautiful. We are all worthy, and we are all deserving of love. And the most important place that you want to get love from is from yourself. And if you can't give yourself love, you can certainly not attract it in your life. You need to be able to love you. And I think being authentic comes from a place of loving yourself and accepting yourself first. It's not about getting everyone else to accept you. It's about getting yourself to accept yourself and love who you are. And I think that's part of the authenticness of who you are, showing that and sharing that.
That is so beautiful, Rima. I'm so grateful that you're sharing this beautiful wisdom, because that is the truth. Just what you just said, that knowing your why is already yours, like taking ownership of it, right?
Absolutely.
So it's not like, there's nothing, like, it's just to recognize and become more aware of it, that, and I think a lot of times we get so many layers, with conditioning and the culture and, everything, like for us not to love ourselves. And we're always, kind of just what you mentioned too, that, everything else we're able to kind of work towards. But the most important thing is working on you, because in the end of the day, Allah is going to ask us about us, and we have to have that integrity within us. So just what you said, like, like your mind, body, soul, everything has to be aligned within ourselves. That is the most important thing, is what you said, is loving yourself and being self-compassionate. And once you have that and have that integrity within you, that's the truth. And then, and knowing that our most important purpose is with our creator and the creation. And then you just are on this journey, and that's pretty much what it is. And then as long as you have that integrity within you, and then you just show up as who you are and what Allah has made you, and then you will keep on enhancing and, doing that for your self-realization. And I really hope that inspires everyone that's around you, because we're all one. And having that respect and dignity for everybody, and especially for yourself, and showing up and giving that service, because in the end we are all servants of Allah. And I think that is the most important purpose, is the why. That is the why.
It absolutely is. And having also just from saying all that, I think starting your own business, wanting to do something for profit, I actually believe that is also, in a way, it's serving Allah too. And I'll tell you why. We are all here in North America. We have, as you can see where we're all sitting with a roof over our head. We're all dressed nicely. We might be drinking something and enjoying. We have access to food, running water. We can get up and go and use the washroom. These are all the benefits we have living here. The majority of our Muslim sisters and brothers don't necessarily have those advantages across the world. One of the reasons I always say that I am looking to grow to the top, I am looking to, earn multi-millions or more. And I say that very proudly, because I believe that there's some kind of shame within our community to wanting to earn more. Like, oh, she's not grateful. She should be grateful for what she has. She's immensely grateful to the gifts that God's given her, Allah's given her, and that's why she wants more. Because when she has more, she can do more. She can give more. She can be more. I truly believe that we as women, especially Muslim women, it's one of the reasons why I started the business I'm in. Muslim women have an immense capacity to love and give and care. I have seen women within dirham, just from the things that Kubra initiates, giving. And that the women who are giving actually don't have enough to give, and yet they're giving. That's the spirit of the Muslim woman. And I think a Muslim woman is strong. She has this warrior spirit. And the reason why I always encourage women to want more and earn more, it's not selfish, it's selfless, because when we have more, we can do more. I can do a lot with the extra $10 I make. I can do a lot with the extra 10,000 I have, or the extra 1 million I have. We can do a lot more. And I think that when Allah puts us in these countries of conveniences and blessings, I do believe that Allah is going to ask us one day, what did you do? I gave you so much. I gave you the clothes. I gave you the home. I gave you the food. What more did you do for the Muslim Ummah that was suffering? Or the others that were suffering across the world? So one of the reasons I'm very passionate in helping women start a business or give them some of the knowledge that I have. And yes, I do a paid consulting part on the side. So I do have that, but I will offer free workshops too, because my purpose is to help women do more, be more, earn more, so that they can give back more, because I do believe we'll be questioned. We were in so much comfort, but what did we do? Did we try to help one, or did we actually try and believe that we could help thousands? And so that's another thing that I feel that is very important about this whole CCMW, is that it's a platform for Muslim women to come together to become more so that we can give back more, right? And that is also something that absolutely drives me. But I feel that that being grateful is one thing. You can be grateful to Allah, but at the same time know that your capacity to do more and earn more and give more is unlimited, because we have all the comforts that we need, right? So that's just another point.
Thank you, Rima.
You're welcome.
I think if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to, Rima, are you okay with them connecting with you directly to the information that you provided on the
Sure.
PowerPoint?
Sure.
Or even to Cobra?
Or to Cobra, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes me a while to respond back. I will tell you that, but absolutely, you're welcome to connect with me.
All right. Well, I just want to thank you, Rima, again for presenting this great information. Thank you for your time. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. It's been great.
Thank you, guys. Salam alaikum.
Nice to meet you. Welcome. And, we hopefully we'll see you in the future as well in our events.